Across the state, demonstrators have demanded police accountability. KRCG 13's Kyrie Lee joins us live from Jefferson City, where more protest activity is expected this evening.
Yes, we've seen it in Kansas City and St. Louis, and here locally we've seen it in Columbia and Bloomfield, and actually right now we're seeing it here in Jefferson City. There's probably at least 100 people here right now gathered for protest number 1 of the night, and I actually spoke to an organizer for a second protest that's supposed to happen tonight at 7:30, where they're going to march from here at the Capitol down to Lincoln University.
Multiple peaceful protests in Columbia over the weekend brought out hundreds of people, some even taking it to the streets Sunday night into Monday morning. In Boonville, protesters marched down the center of the city in peace and solidarity. Now, the spotlight is on the capital city.
It is our job to advocate that here in Jefferson City, we are the capital of Missouri, and this is where the change has to start. We're here to make a statement, not a scene. And we want to make an impact, to make a change.
On Monday night, hundreds of protesters from all different walks of life are expected to march from the state capitol to Lincoln University in memory of George Floyd and the numerous other black lives lost at the hands of police brutality and those who simply have faced the injustices of the system.
That it doesn't matter the generational thoughts that you've been taught, it doesn't matter what you've heard, it doesn't matter what you think, that you know that it has to stop at your family. If we all, as a community, as a generation, had the racism stop at our family, it would never continue. It would stop here.
Forming as allies, working together as brothers and sisters.
Educating your family, educating your friends, your loved ones, because I think that's the biggest thing that we're seeing with a lot of people is that they're not educated. And then we're seeing people out here just showing hate. It's not about hate. We're not trying to project hate with these protests. We're trying to do this peacefully.
A goal of igniting the start of change.
This world lacks love. And because without love, like, this is how hate begins.
I have people that I call family, brothers and sisters, who live in fear every single day, and I don't. So until they live as I do and they don't live wondering who's next, it's my job to fight for them.
And the Jefferson City Police Department will be praying with protesters before the start of the march tonight at 7:30. All are encouraged to attend. I spoke with JCPD Lieutenant David Williams, who says they're working with all area law enforcement for the night's events. Williams says they all want a peaceful protest as well. Right now, I am giving you a live look at the first protest of tonight. We have lots of people gathered out here on the Capitol lawn. Your students are not happy. Your population is not happy with this.
People from different races came together at Mizzou to protest George Floyd's death while in police custody.
He shouldn't have to be an example of a problem America should have fixed a long time ago.
Protesters say all life is precious.
We cannot continue to comply with racism and be conditioned to it as if it's okay. It's not. You know, black people are human beings just as well as everybody else, and we deserve that freedom to be able to, just exist.
Protest organizer Keisha Caldwell says racism in America continues to exist, and we must act now to eliminate it.
America has, just had not eradicated, racism and, systemic racism, institutionalized racism, and now people are, dying in the streets. Black people are dying in the streets more often and on camera as if it's, entertainment, and that's not right, and it's up to people to stand up for it. It's not right, if you don't think something's right, you stand up.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. It is our duty to win.
Being silent about racism that you see or you know about is a part of the issue. And it's time for people to use their voices. If you care about other human beings, if you care about people that don't look like you, then say something about it. Speak up for it.
For Caldwell, it meant a lot to see the support at the protest.
My heart is very warm to see the amount of people that came out today, of all different, races and ethnicities, but that's what it takes. It takes everybody.
And everybody was peaceful, something to strive for while protesting.
We were completely peaceful, and it's possible. Just stay, hooked on the message and stay, positive and look out for one another.
We must love and protect each other.
We must love and protect each other. A powerful and necessary message for everyone.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
People protesting the death of George Floyd have been gathering in Columbia since Friday. Columbia Mayor Brian Treese says it is important to have peaceful protests.
But we cannot let that anger translate into violence, because ultimately that distracts from the tragic events of George Floyd in Minneapolis and doesn't move our city forward.
Governor Mike Parson activated the Missouri National Guard on Saturday to help respond to protests around the state. Members of the Guard and the Highway Patrol are on standby to help if violence grows beyond the abilities of local authorities to manage.
Unfortunately, we've been having this discussion for the last 3 and 4 years. You know, I was elected on the heels of Ferguson after the period of unrest at the University of Missouri, and we have had deliberate and sometimes difficult conversations about race and community policing, and I think we're seeing the dividends of that now by being able to have nonviolent protests.